Bro, get the away from here, like turn around. Bro, no, hold on. I think it's gonna crash, bro. Holy. Damn.
Intense, the whole sky.
Holy. Holy.
It's on fire.
What is that?
¡Oh my God! ¡Tra, papi! ¿Viste? Te lo estoy diciendo, Dios mío. ¡Ay, Dios mío!
Pero que.
¡Ay!
Vamos a ver,
Papi, cuidado.
espérate.
What do you mean no? No! No. It's just Ashley! Ashley, down! Down, get down!
She didn't make it out. You but crazy, y'all. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. We on Gray Lane, right here around Stooges Bar and Grill. So at about 5:10 p.m., we was coming down Gray Lane, headed to Fern Valley Road. Me, my cousin Big Dot, and my little homie Derek Robinson. And I'd be damned if we didn't see a UPS plane, excuse my language, that caught on fire and that blew up. And this is what we got. This is where we at. This is where we at, y'all. And the fire, to be honest with y'all, I'm about ready to dip out because it's starting to intensify. Look at this smoke. Yeah.
Right there. He said he just left to go on break. Ain't that a
Yeah, man.
my man right here say, man, he said I work right
Oh,
here.
y'all. You didn't see it. You went that way. They brought a dude down in the flatbed. He was over, bro. Bounce up like that. You hear what I say? I swear to God, they just took him. They took him down there to the ambulance. Look at that fire, y'all. Look at it. Let me get a little bit closer if I can. Yeah. Look at that there, man. This crazy, man. This is crazy. Never ever in my life, 62 years of life, I ain't never seen nothing like this, y'all. Look at that fire. It's starting to intensify down there.
And right here is all we did. It's the
I know
whole
it.
line. We just can't see it because of the smoke. But
Things
them
are still
all the way-
exploding.
Yeah, and it's still busting.
Man, it's crazy, y'all.
That fire truck.
Oh, that's a bad
that's
mother right there. Let me see this. This is something new. They done pulled up on the
Man, they pull
scene.
a transformer fire truck.
Oh my goodness. This a bad boy right here. I'm gonna get off that fire truck. I want y'all to see this intense, thick, black smoke.
Man, look at that.
30, 40,000 feet in the air, y'all. I swear. This is crazy. Y'all look at this. Louisville, Kentucky, Tuesday afternoon, 5:10, 5 p.m.
Bro, we
UPS
literally
plane.
could have been the first.
UPS plane, y'all, exploded. Not exploded, caught a fire, then it exploded. And we witnessed it. We witnessed as it was happening.
Yeah,
This is like,
we seen it,
we saw it.
hitting the ground.
Yes, sir. We seen it
up,
hit the
blowing
ground and explode into what you're seeing now.
I'm telling you, way more engaging than a news reporter. So shout out to him and his cousin, Big Dot from Louisville. Eyewitnesses who caught this horrible UPS cargo plane crash at the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport that involves a McDonnell Douglas MD-11. It crashed shortly after takeoff on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. The plane headed to Honolulu had 3 UPS crew members aboard. During the takeoff roll, the left engine reportedly ignited and detached from the wing, and the left wing caught fire. Despite some initial liftoff, the plane descended sharply, crashed approximately 3 miles south of the airport, and exploded, causing a massive fire that took over nearby buildings and fuel tanks. At least 14 people were killed in the crash, including the 3 crew members and some individuals on the ground, with dozens more injured. The crash caused significant destruction in an industrial area next to the airport, including fire damage to multiple structures. The debris field from the crash stretched for about half a mile. The National Transportation Safety Board, leading the investigation, recovered the black boxes and found the detached left engine near the runway. Preliminary findings indicate the left wing fire preceded the engine detachment, and investigators are working to determine the exact cause.
The UPS plane that crashed tragically last night was an MD-11. We don't hear a lot about MD-11s, but it stood out to me because my husband flew that aircraft for 6 years. And here's something that I know about that. He would always tell me that it had a high crash percentage. That may not have been the terminology that he used, but that's ultimately what he was saying. So only 200 of these planes were ever manufactured, and 11 of those planes, or about 5% of them, have been crashed to the extent that they are a full loss. Imagine if we applied those statistics to any other fleet out there. Like, let's just hypothetically use Southwest Airlines. I think they have about 800-ish 737s that they have active. Imagine if 5% of those, or about 40 planes, had crashed and ended in fatalities and total losses. Like, what do you think would be happening? The public would be in an uproar, rightfully so. Regulators would be grounding the plane and taking a look at things. But I think because this MD-11 plane is used primarily in the cargo world, it's not as visible to the public eye. And so for whatever reason, it doesn't remain a top priority. But they should be looking at this aircraft type and making some decisions on whether or not these are safe to be flying.
The truth is, the general public, they don't care about stuff like this until it involves them. I mean, you should have seen the ridiculous people talking about how they still better get their UPS package they're waiting on, or how their package better not be on that plane. The general public, the consumers, they don't have a clue about all the work that goes into getting them their packages. They only see the final delivery, the last mile, the person who placed the package on their porch or in their package delivery boxes. They don't understand the full operation and all the people involved with getting those packages there. These are huge operations at companies like UPS, FedEx, Amazon, Western Global. They fly to hundreds of cities, serving a wide range of customers, including e-commerce, freight forwarders, and even the U.S. government. You have people working at these facilities, cargo moved to and from these planes, they get them to their next destination. Then you have the tractor trailers, the drive-ins, doubles, triples, moving this freight to a local hub so the delivery driver can finish a job and pull up to your house in that brown bread truck. A lot can go wrong before you get your package. But yeah, UPS had 25 other MD-11s in service and another 6 that have been in storage for at least the last 3 months. FedEx, they have more, 38 in service and 34 in storage. And cargo carrier Western Global Airlines, they have 4 in service and 12 in storage. Both UPS and FedEx came out and said they will ground their fleets of McDonnell Douglas MD-11 planes. UPS said in a statement they made the decision out of an abundance of caution following the deadly crash at their global aviation hub in Kentucky. FedEx also proactive here. They came out and said they will not be flying those planes right now either. MD-11 aircrafts make up about 9% of the UPS airline fleet and 4% of the FedEx fleet. The MD-11s, they make up a higher percentage of the UPS cargo fleet, but in total they had 37 altogether. In FedEx, they have 72. So yeah, after the crash though, both companies decided to ground the fleet. However, Western Global, they didn't come out and say anything. Luckily though, the Federal Aviation Administration issued an emergency directive on Saturday, November 8th, temporarily banning the use of all MD-11 and MD-11F cargo planes, requiring complete inspections. Now, there's a pilot wife. She interviewed her pilot husband, who explained why the pilots continued their takeoff when they obviously had an issue there, citing the reason for that being they were past their decision speed, often called V1. Listen to what Pilot Vin had to say.
Absolutely devastating. I think that this is going to shake the industry. I still am in kind of disbelief about what I saw. It was a UPS McDonnell Douglas MD-11 bound for Honolulu, departing Louisville, Kentucky, on runway 17 right. UPS flight 2976. We can presume that the flight was pretty heavy, going to Honolulu, probably pretty loaded. I watched the video. It seemed like the left engine was on fire. They could not climb out. It almost seemed as though the left engine wasn't there. The fire was enormous. It didn't seem like the fire was contained. It almost seemed like all or part of the engine was missing. And then I saw photos of pieces of an engine nacelle lying next to the runway. It seemed like fuel was just being sent into the fire, as if there was nothing there to catch the fuel, as if the engine wasn't there, as if the fuel system was just throwing fuel. And that's the type of fire it seemed like to me was on the left side of the airplane. ADS-B data showed the plane climbed to a mere 75 feet above the ground and reached a speed of 184 knots before impacting the terrain and buildings south of the airport. An accident of American 191 years ago in Chicago. It was a DC-10, and that plane, as it departed, with the left engine, it caught fire, and the left engine actually separated from the wing, came back over the wing and off the pylon. And when it did that, it took with it the hydraulic lines. It wasn't able to control any of the flight controls, and it slowly rolled and crashed into the ground. This almost reminded me of that. MD-11 is a very capable airplane. It's got a lot of power, even fully loaded. It is absolutely capable of climbing away from the ground with one engine inoperative or on fire. To me, something absolutely catastrophic had to have happened. Was there maintenance being done on the airplane? Did the engine explode catastrophically and take with it some of the hydraulic lines?
Why would they continue their takeoff if the engine was on fire?
It comes down to the speeds that we have set for takeoff. We have a number of speeds. V1, which is takeoff decision speed. Once you hit that speed, you're committed to the takeoff roll. It seems evident to me that this happened after V1, that they intended to continue the takeoff roll. Simple engine failure, in my mind, or an engine fire, doesn't seem likely to have caused this in my mind. It seems to have been, in my opinion, something much more catastrophic.
Thanks, Pilot Vinny.
You're welcome.
Wow, so once past V1, it's generally safer to continue the takeoff rather than attempt to stop on the runway, as aborting could result in overrunning the runway or a worse accident. The cockpit voice recorder captured a persistent bell alarm about 37 seconds after the crew called for takeoff thrust. This alarm signaled a critical emergency, likely an engine fire, as video and eyewitness accounts confirmed the plane's left wing was ablaze and its left engine detached before the aircraft crashed. The persistent alarm likely indicated an uncontained engine fire, but the crew had very limited options due to the timing and severity of the emergency. Early findings confirmed the flight crew followed a normal pre-takeoff checklist and were likely forced to continue takeoff due to being past the safe abort threshold. This was just really bad. All 3 on board lost their lives, along with 11 others so far, and dozens of people were injured. The death toll kept increasing. First, it was just the 3 on board, then 4, then 7, then 9. Now we're up to 14, impacting a lot of families, the businesses, and their employees around the airport, destroyed by the fire. When this first happened, you had folks on social media trying to blame air traffic controllers and the government shutdown when air traffic controllers had zero to do with this. This crash was caused by a mechanical issue. So no, air traffic controllers, they had no role in the mechanical failure or the crash. And that's crazy for them to already be going through what they're going through. Every time a plane has a maintenance issue, especially the passenger flights, the general public will immediately start jumping on air traffic controllers, blaming them. But I digress. Sending condolences to the 14 people who lost their lives, the dozens of people injured, to all those people and their families impacted by this tragedy.